It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you.
What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Soul Vice. Thanks for joining me once again. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Today we're taking a look at the Adidas Yeezy Boost 380 in the Pepper colorway. Now I'll be breaking these down for you. I'm going to give you an in-depth review on them. I'll let you know exactly what I think about them and give you all the details I think you should know about in order to decide if this is a shoe you want to cop for yourself. And as always, you'll be getting 4K buttery smooth on-feet footage and B-roll to go along with that. Now before we get to the review, if you end up liking this video, do me a huge favor. Like the video, it makes a big difference. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when I post videos just like this one. I'm on my way to 1,500 subscribers and the goal is to hit that by the end of the year. And I can definitely do it, but I need your help to get there. And the last thing before the review, if you're looking for something specific like the sizing or comfort of the shoe, you can always check in the description below. I'm gonna have all the individual pieces of the review time-stamped out. But if you're like me, you like to kick back and relax from the beginning to the end of the video, I'll make that worth your while as well. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into the review. Now I was pretty stoked to get these in hand because I haven't seen a pair of 380s in hand yet. So I was really looking forward to kind of seeing what the differences were between these and Yeezy 350s. These were dubbed originally the 350 V3, but at the last minute they changed it up and now these are the 380. Whether or not we're gonna be getting a 350 V3 in the future, I have no idea. But I will say there's a lot of similarities between these and the original 350 and 350 V2, but there's definitely a lot of differences as well. The Yeezy Pepper originally released back on September 19th for $230 US, and I slept right through the drop, but thankfully Deadstock Canada did restock them a little bit later in the day, so I was able to cop a pair for the review for you guys. And by the way, if you do want a pair of these, down in the description below, I'm gonna have a few links. I'm gonna have a resale link. I'm gonna scour the internet, see if I can find a retail link for you guys as well, but I'm pretty sure they're sold out. And then my Instagram as well. If you end up wanting a size 12, you can buy these off me. I'm just basically trying to get what I paid for them. So hit me up there if you're interested in my size 12. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the materials used on these. We'll start off with the upper. If you hadn't guessed already, this is a prime knit upper. This is really similar to the prime knit that's on 350 V2s. I will say in some places it feels maybe a little bit more stretchy. On the side, you've got a really similar to the stripe that they're doing right now on 350 V2s. You've got this plastic mesh. It is slightly different than the 350 V2, and I'm gonna get up close shots of that so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The only way I can describe it is maybe it's just a little bit thinner. You also have those big holes that are all perforated on the outside and the inner side of the shoe as well, not just in the plastic mesh, but at the bottom on the prime knit as well. Obviously the pattern here on the prime knit is way different than anything we've ever seen on a 350. On 350s, it's very geometric. On this, it's really, really organic looking. As we all know, the original colorway of these were dubbed the Alien 380s, and I really think any colorway on these look like something that would be kind of out of an alien movie or sci-fi movie or something like that. I could just see aliens rocking these. This plastic stripe looks almost like sticky and wet. It's a very, very unconventional looking shoe, but I really, really like it a lot. Now, down the center here, you've got this center stitch that's, again, very similar to 350s, and some 350s have actually adopted this same style center stitch where the stitching is hidden, so it's just kind of like the seam. There's no stitching visible, and they actually cover up the stitching on the inside of the shoe. Now, the ankle is the biggest place where I have a problem with these. It's just, since it's like basically a sock up here, it's really a small hole. It's easy to get your foot in because it's super stretchy, but I don't know, like they look weird if you're not wearing pants that really like kind of cover this ankle area up. If this area is showing, it just looks off to me. Like you definitely, in my opinion, cannot wear these with shorts. It looks super, super weird. So I'm not really a fan of this. I wish there was more kind of like a traditional ankle opening into the shoe, so it went with a few more different types of pairs of pants. So not a fan of this. Also, the lacing on these, it does come stock with this infinity lace system that they've been doing on a lot of Yeezys lately. However, you do have an extra pair of laces. So these come with a bright red pair of laces. Unfortunately, if you want to use these, you actually have to cut the infinity looped lace that comes on the pair out of the box. And I don't know about you, but I'm not usually a fan of like damaging my shoes just so I can switch out the laces. So I would say that that's definitely kind of like a downside in my opinion. Some people think it looks a little bit cleaner, I think, but again, the trade-off of having to actually cut these off of the shoe if you want to switch them up for the red laces, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that. The other thing is, I don't know if the red laces would look that good on these. I really wish I could put them on there and show you guys. but there's no red really in the shoe. I mean, there's like a red tint to some of the places on the prime knit, but I don't know, the red is just like a really weird choice, but I'm sure it looks good on these. It's just kind of like one of those super high contrast looks, which I'm a fan of. I just don't know if I would have gone with red. But at the end of the day, it is nice to say that you've got 2 choices for laces. Just keep in mind, if you want to go with the red laces that come in the box, you've actually got to cut these off of the shoe. Moving down to what is, in my opinion, the most interesting part of the 380, which is the midsole. You've got this semi-translucent midsole where it's really apparent where the prime knit ends behind the midsole, but then right below that, you've got this huge dark blue area that kind of gives you the illusion that you're just floating on air above the outsole. Obviously, we know there's boost in there, but you really can't see it up until you get to like the toe area. So I think that's a really, really interesting look. And then you've got this drip pattern all the way across the midsole on the outside and the inner side of the shoe. It's probably not gonna pick up in this shot here. I'm gonna try and get some close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. If you've seen the Yeezy 380 Alien, you know what I'm talking about. And I actually thought that they got rid of that feature on the colorways after the Aliens, but it looks like they just made them a little bit less apparent, which I think is unfortunate. I like that look a lot. I think it's a really nice design aspect or signature of the 380. So I wish that was a little bit more apparent. Now moving down to the outsole, you've got this semi-translucent outsole. Of course, you've got your windows through so you can see the boost. Another cool feature of the 380s is that you've got boost lettering debossed straight into the boost, which I don't think I've ever seen that on any other Adidas or Yeezy model. I could be wrong about that, but at least I haven't seen it. Now this outsole is nice and grippy. I like the traction pattern that they have on here, but my biggest problem with this sole unit on the 380 is how much it sweeps up in the back. I've heard a lot of people say that they like that. I guess when driving it kind of makes sense, but to me, at least the way that I heel strike when I'm walking, it feels really abrupt. Like it's just this huge flat piece that's contacting the ground flush, and it's, I don't know, it's not a comfortable way to walk. I've actually got another pair of shoes that does that same thing. These are the Pegasus 35 Turbos from Nike, and you can see it kind of has that same curve at the back. It's a really similar angle, and I didn't like these when I first put them on foot, and I've never really gotten used to it. I mean, obviously, as you walk throughout the day, you don't really notice it as much, but when I put my feet in these shoes for the first time, both these and those Pegasus Turbos, I really, really feel that the first few steps I take, it's kind of just jarring when your foot hits flush with the ground. So I'm not a fan of this sweep up on the back. I don't think it looks bad, but I hate the way that it feels on foot. But really, that's my only gripe when it comes to the way that these feel on feet. And speaking of on feet, the odd thing about these, unlike pretty much every other shoe, I think these look worse on feet than they do in photos and in hand. Maybe it doesn't help that the first time I tried them on, I was wearing shorts, and I'm telling you that this ankle collar like sucked up against your ankle with the rest of the shoe just hugging your foot with this huge chunky midsole. It looks really weird, at least in my opinion. Maybe somebody likes these with shorts on. I'm not one of those people. Once I put the jeans on to do the on-feet footage, they definitely look better, but I still think that these look better like as a concept in photos and just kind of looking at them, not on somebody's foot. It's a really weird thing, I know, but that's just my opinion of these. But I will say they feel great on foot. So I went true to size on these, and I will say that they're a little bit tight up in the toe lengthwise. Widthwise, you've got plenty of room. So if you're somebody who typically sizes up because you have wide feet, I don't think that you have to do that with these. Now, I don't have wide feet, so take that with a grain of salt. But if you're somebody who's like really close between a 12 and a 12 and a half, let's say like me, the toe is a little bit cramped. But I think that true to size is probably, at least for me, the right size. But if you're somebody who likes extra room, definitely have size up on these. And again, this is a size 12 if you want to cop these. From me, hit me up on Instagram below. Comfort-wise, these are great, just like every other Yeezy. There's a lot of boost on these. It's really, really cushiony. This prime knit is really comfortable. I've got no complaints with the prime knit on these whatsoever, or with the comfort in general. These feel great on feet. I just don't think they look great on feet. Now, other than that, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. That way you're notified when I post new videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.